Chapter 9. My healing work begins. First patient. No will to live. Morning, I saw a new patient in the ward. I was interested in him immediately. I looked at him, he looked at me. I smiled. He did not return my smile. I said, "Good morning." He retorted, "I can't see any good in anything." So I left him alone. About 7 o'clock that night, Dr. Wheeling came into the ward, looked over the patients, then stopped at my bed and said, "Stevenson, see that man in the 5th bed down?" "Yes, I spoke to him this morning." "What do you think of his case? He has been here in a private room for 3 months. He lost his wife and his 2 children with the flu. He had it too, but he pulled through against his will. Now we cannot do anything with him. Yesterday the thought came to me, put him in the ward, let Stevenson see him. So here he is. What can you do? If anything, there is a box of cigars in it for you." "All right, doctor. Tomorrow morning when you come into the ward you will get a surprise." "How?" "Never mind. Wait and see, but bring the box of cigars. I need them. I have not had a cigar for a week. You smoke too many anyway. You are an extravagant patient, but I will wait and see." The next morning the doctor came into the ward, and the first thing he heard was the man calling, "Doctor?" He went to him and asked, "What do you want? Will you let me have a wheelchair? Why do you want a wheelchair?" "I want to go talk to that man in the 1st bed." "Yes, you can have a chair." As soon as he was in it, he came straight to me and said, "I thank you for the talk you gave me last night." "Yes, as you said, I still have something to live for. And I am going to live." The doctor had been listening from the other side of the door. As soon as the man left my bedside, Dr. Wheeling came to me with the promised box of cigars. "Here," he said, "you win. But how in the hell do you do it?" "Well, doctor, I have a habit of arousing the greater mind. Then I transmit reason, power to it. Then the person reasons it all out for himself. Only in this case, I had to start his greater mind against the will of his smaller mind. There you go again into the unknown. I don't know how you do it, but it works. For days the man spent all his time with me, and I would picture his future possibilities. In 2 weeks he was discharged and fit to return to work. He came to visit me once a week as long as I remained in the hospital. Dr. Wheeling seemed to conclude that no one could die if I were near them. Many times, when they brought in someone very sick, he would say, "Put him beside Stevenson. He won't die." They moved me back to the south porch, as they said, so I would not spoil the other patients. By this time, my converted night nurse was making a name for herself as a wonderful woman and nurse second patient, a boy with a leaking heart. A few weeks later, they brought a 17-year-old boy onto the porch. He was breathing hard. They put the curtain around him. I asked Miss Susan, "A leaking heart?" "Yes." "He is not supposed to live through the night. I asked the doctor to put him in here so he could sit up with you. He's not going to die," I assured her. "After the doors are closed for the night, I will give him a treatment. You see, nurse, I can stop a leaking heart in a few minutes." "Well, after what you have done for me, I believe you can do anything." So at 9:30 we prepared. I went over to his bed in my wheelchair and gave him treatment. The nurse heard the flow of liquid and asked, "Mr. Stevenson, what's that?" "I am cleaning the vacuum chamber out, and as soon as I get it clean, he will begin to breathe naturally." The boy spoke. "My heart doesn't hurt any more, and I can breathe better already." I stayed with him about 30 minutes, watched him, treated him again, and then he fell asleep. The nurse asked, "Mr. Stevenson, is he dead?" "No, he is sleeping, but I cannot hear him breathing." "No, he is breathing naturally. Leave him alone. He will sleep all night." The next morning, Dr. Gurley examined him. "How are you?" "Fine. I slept all night." He listened to the boy's heart. Just then Miss Delahan came in. Dr. Gurley said, "Miss Delahan, listen to this. This boy was brought in here last night with one of the worst leaking hearts I have ever heard. This morning there is no sign of a leak. Call Dr. Wheeling." Dr. Wheeling listened, then looked at me. "What do you think, Stevenson?" "I think, or thought, he was too young to die." "I thought so too," he replied. "All 3 left." That evening Miss Susan came straight to me and said, "I had some questions to answer today, but I did pretty good." Dr. Wheeling told me, "This Stevenson has something we don't get out of an education." The boy was sent home within a few days. Years later, a policeman stopped me and said it was the first time he had seen me since the hospital. I asked, "Who are you?" Can't you remember me? I was the boy with the leaking heart. That was 15 years ago. You look good now. Yes, doctor. I have never had a day of sickness since. The old saying is true, cast thy bread upon the waters, and it shall return after many days. Third patient, pneumonia Mr. Potts, an assistant mine foreman, was brought in with a temperature of 106, delirious and near death. A few hours later, a preacher came in to pray with him, and for him. Again, I made up my mind. He was only 35 years old and too young to die. When the night nurse came in and took his temperature, I asked, "What is it?" "We are not supposed to tell, but I will. Still 106. You know what that means, Mr. Stevenson. Oh, not every time. Tonight at 9:30, get some olive oil and wheel me over to his bedside. By that time he will be unconscious, and we will see what we can do." "Just where do you get the we from?" "You and me. If you do not take me to him, how could I get there?" "Oh, I see." At 9:30 she came. "Doctor, are you ready? Always ready to do good." Soon I was. At work. In 30 minutes we became conscious and asked, "Who are you?" "Only the fellow from the other bed." "Now turn over." He did and commented, "The pain in my lungs has all gone." The nurse checked him. "Mr. Stevenson, his temperature is down to 102. "Yes, that is all right, but his heart is still racing. I will have to slow that down too. I will get at it from his back. It took 1 hour to bring him safely through, then he fell asleep." The nurse said, "He's sleeping. He will sleep until morning, just leave him alone." When the doctor came in the next morning, he looked at me with what I thought was sarcasm. Later I realized he was trying to see if I would reveal myself. The nurse had already told him everything. He examined Mr. Potts. His temperature was normal, his heartbeat was normal. The doctor gave a sort of grunt, then left without comment. The next day Mr. Potts asked for food. The doctor said, "Ask Stevenson. He's your doctor." "What can he have, Stevenson?" "Anything but milk." "Why not milk?" "Well, you see, he still has a few germs left, and they feed on milk." "Oh, I see. That sounds reasonable. Give him a pot of my tea." Day by day he regained strength. Within 2 weeks he was sent home fully recovered, fourth patient, Mrs. Potts, while Mrs. Potts was visiting her recovering husband. She asked me about a troubling condition in her breast that her doctor feared might be cancer. She was deeply concerned. I gave her 5 treatments. Afterward, she returned to her doctor for examination. He informed her that the condition had completely cleared up. He did not ask what she had done. He already knew fifth patient heart trouble. An old lady was brought to the hospital for heart trouble. She was supposed to stay in the hospital for 6 weeks' rest. My nurse asked me, "What about treating her?" "If you bring her to the diet kitchen after supper, I will treat her." I went in and gave her a treatment. When she got up off the table, she said she felt fine. The next morning she was called for an examination. The doctor was astounded, saying, "There's nothing wrong with your heart, but yesterday I was afraid it was going to stop at any minute. I don't see why we should keep you. I think you can go home." "All right, I am glad for that." She was as good as her word. She never mentioned the treatment I had given her the night before. A week later, a woman came into the ward and asked in a loud voice, "Where is Mr. Stevenson?" Just at that time, Dr. Wheeling was leaving me. He confronted her in the middle of the ward. "Where are you going with that basket?" "I have brought these things for Mr. Stevenson." "Where is he?" "I just met him once, doctor, and in a few minutes he fixed my heart, so I am bringing this basket for him. He came back to me with a lady." "Do you know this lady, Stevenson?" "I met her once only." "All right," he said to the lady. "It is against the rules of the hospital, but that's all he does every day, and I help him too. Let's see what you have got." There were apples, oranges, pears, grapes, tobacco, matches, and a box of cigars. The doctor smiled. "Don't you know that patients are not allowed to smoke in the hospital, lady?" "Why, doctor, this man should be allowed to do anything he wants to, even this." She stooped down and kissed me. She was over 60 years old. The doctor said, "Well, I'll be damned," and left. Chapter 10. Another gift unfolds. Then things quieted down again, and I was becoming a mystery. As soon as a man becomes a mystery, people stay away from him. I knew this, so I kept quiet for a few weeks. Monday morning, one of the nurses came into the sun porch, walked straight to a window, and began to review her night before. I could not help becoming interested. After she had completed the picture, I asked, "Well?" She whirled around and asked, "What do you mean?" "Well, just this. As you gazed back into last night, so did I. And here is what I saw. I saw a man and a woman meet beside the fire station. He has a Ford coupe. He stopped his car, a lady got in, and he drove away, leaving town. They went some distance. I do not know how far. I have never been on this road, but at one point I saw a road to the left, another to the right, and an unused road straight ahead. I heard the lady asking him why he was taking this road. He said, 'I want a drink of water, and there is a spring down here.' As he reached the spring, I read the thoughts of the lady. She was becoming afraid. She waited until he got his drink. Then she asked him to take her out of that place. Then, showing his true self, I will not put on paper what happened, but the lady won out and walked home. Mr. Stevenson, that is a true picture, and the one I was seeing when I stood looking out of the window. Yes, that is when I got it. People cannot reach a place in life without seeing it in their mental vision. I see the picture formation in your brain just as plainly as you see a moving picture on a screen. I never tell what I see, so if you do not tell this story, it will never be told. I have thousands of these secrets in my mind, and in the future I will add thousands more. I admonished her, 'Don't tell anyone else.' I won't. But about 2 hours later, another nurse came in, stood at the same window, and stared. She saw nothing. Soon another came, then another. By 6 o'clock another one arrived, so I thought I would give her a picture too. I said, 'Do you see that farmhouse over there?' 'Why, yes.' 'Then look into it and tell me what you can see.' 'I can't see anything. I will tell you what I see. That farmer's wife has just taken 4 of the most beautiful pies out of the oven that I have seen in a long time. She is putting 1 more into the oven. Let's see now. There are 2 apple pies and 2 berry pies. The one she has just put in the oven must be an apple pie. She said, 'You give me the creeps, but wait, I will be back.' She went to the office and telephoned the farmhouse. She asked the woman what she was doing. 'Baking pies. I have the last one in the oven.' 'What are they?' 3 apple and 2 berry. 'How did you know that?' 'I will tell you this evening when we get there.' She returned and told me what had happened. Everything I had said was true. Then I said, 'Since you are going to the party, ask the lady if she will send me a piece of her apple pie. Now, girl, don't tell anyone about this, or they will think there is something wrong with your head. And if they put it up to me, I will deny ever telling you such a story. I won't.' About 3 days later, Dr. Wheeling came in, stood, and looked out the window. Said nothing, but I did get a smile out of it. Then he asked, 'What did you see?' 'Nothing. I am not looking into other people's business unless I see a lesson in it. But if you are referring to the pie picture, Doctor, if you had lain in this bed looking at the same hills, fields, and farmhouse as long as I have, you would know as much about it as I do. For instance, there are 376 trees in that field as far as vision can see. There are about 16 billion leaves on those trees when in full bloom. There must be about 20 acres of grass, 1,500 blades of grass to the square foot. That takes the blades of grass into the trillions. I have not got that all figured out yet because I have been too busy watching the farmer's wife doing her housework. I have figured out they have 6 rooms on the first floor and 5 on the second, with 2 bathrooms. Now, you were at that party she gave for the nurses. How far am I wrong?' 'Well, Stevenson, all I can say is that you held the party. Every nurse had some special story to tell.' 'Yes, you are a mystery, Stevenson. Doctor, if you have secrets you do not want anyone to know, don't review them in my presence, or they won't be your secrets any longer. But you can be assured, even though I see, I never tell. As I live on, thousands of people will bring their skeletons out of their closets to me to get relief from the pressure of conscience. I have a great capacity to take them in. Oh, I too have skeletons in a closet, but I have no one to tell mine to. That makes me feel alone in this world. I give help, but cannot receive help from others. Stevenson, as much as I hate to, I have to go. I will see you again soon.' He left me once more, and I thought about the thought picture I had seen in his mind as I spoke to him.